feel like I kind of want to like kneel in front of here. Do I? Maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am literally kneeling in front of my bookshelf right now because we're gonna be doing my November TBR, but I thought it would be fun to like shop my bookshelf with you guys, if you will, for my TBR. My hair is like a wreck. Oh well. Anyway, so I'm sitting in front of my bookshelf. Okay, I'm gonna, hold on, let me see. Should I do like this? I hope my lighting's okay. Okay, on my bookshelf, I recently did a books outside my comfort zone haul, which is all of these books right here with the exception of the Final Gambit from the, I almost said Game of Thrones, from the Inheritance game series. And then this side of my bookshelf right here is everything that was on my October TBR that I have not read yet. So clearly my October TBR was a huge fail. Now I will say my life is like just a disaster, if you will, in my personal life. Currently in the process of getting divorced, have been for a year now, and it just like, it's just not an experience I would literally wish on anyone. So I was mood reading to the extreme in October, and some of this stuff was just not speaking to me. And also like I was reading slowly just because my mind was in 10,000 places. But I'm feeling super excited about reading again. Books are just like a great escape, if you will. And I'm actually super excited to make this TBR. So up here I have a haul coming. There are like 13 more books that I purchased throughout October, and that haul is coming, but it will be after this video. So there's 5 books that I picked from that haul that I want to put on my TBR for November. And then I thought we would pick like 3 to 4 books to keep from this stack that was on my October TBR that will carry over into November. Maybe pick like 3 to 4 books from the books outside of my comfort zone, and then like 3 to 4 from this shelf right here, which is everything else on my physical TBR. I already picked the 5 books out of the haul because I didn't want to show all the books. I didn't want to like ruin the haul, but I'll be ruining almost half of the haul with this. So wow, we've been going on for 4 minutes and I realize we're still in the introduction-ish area, if you will. But if you guys are interested in shopping my bookshelf with me and picking out my November TBR with me, stay tuned. First, if you have yet to subscribe to my channel and you like bookish content, I'd love if you'd consider subscribing before moving on. And other than that, let's jump into the video. It is like super hot in my apartment right now, but I don't want to take my sweater off because I don't have a bra on under my bodysuit, and I feel like I need like my sweater to like cover myself a little bit, you know? Okay, let's quickly talk about the 5 books from my book haul that I'm going to be putting on my TBR. So up first I have Addicted for Now from Krista and Becca Ritchie. I recently finished Ricochet, and I just want to read at least 1 book from the Addicted Calloway Sisters series per month. I'm like obsessed with this series. You guys will find out in my October TBR that I read the first 3 books of the Magnolia Parks universe series in October, and I left that series feeling like I had like a newfound friend group. And that's also how I feel when I read the Addicted Calloway Sisters series. Like I literally like think about the characters in like my everyday life. So love the series. It just like makes me happy. I get excited to read it, and this will be the next book in the series for me to read. Then I also picked up the book The Roommate, which just sounds like a lighthearted, easy read for me, and just like something like, I feel like there's gonna be a lot of like fluffier romances, or just romances like what I feel like my little heart and little reading brain can handle right now. So The Roommate, I've heard a little bit about this. I haven't even read the blurb on the back, but as far as I know, these 2, like a guy and a girl, end up being roommates for like a random reason, or one reason or another, and the guy is in like the like sex work industry, and she is possibly a virgin, maybe not, but like they form a connection, they form a relationship. It's spicy, I've heard, and I just feel like this sounds interesting. I believe this is a series now. I think there's a second book to this, and I'm very excited to read this. Next up, I have Credence from Penelope Douglas. I think I was watching like a spicy book recommendation video, and someone was talking about, I feel like I'm gonna sit again. Okay, so I believe I was watching like a spicy book recommendations video, and someone was talking about this book. It sounds super taboo, but I feel like I need that escapism right now. So I'm super excited about this as well. It sounds like the main character, her parents die, and then she is left to go live with her uncle. Her uncle lives in this like small town, I think in Colorado, and for part of the winter, like no one can get in and out of the town, or they can't get in and out of their house, something like that. And the uncle has 2 sons, and it sounds like a really spicy book. I'll let you draw your own conclusions. Don't think I'm weird for being excited about reading this, but I'm super excited. Plus I feel like this is like the vibe for like winter time coming up here in Minnesota. Like I feel like November or December, this is like a perfect time to read this book. Like I feel like the atmosphere will match. So I have that one. I have decided, I've been going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth on whether or not I want to give the Shatter Me series a try. I feel like I was all in for it, and like I heard someone talk about it in a video. Maybe it was Destiny who was talking about how like the series just didn't work for her, and I was like, oh, what if it doesn't work for me? So I purchased the first book in the series, and I'm gonna give it a try. Maybe this will be the perfect dabble into fantasy. I feel like I keep saying I want to dabble in fantasy, and then I'll like buy fantasy books and then not read them because I'm afraid. Like I feel like, is the world building going to be too much for me? Especially like, am I going to get confused? Like I'm just nervous. So I figured maybe like a YA fantasy would be a good place to start. And there's like a romance subplot in this series that everybody raves about. So I thought I would at least give the first book a try. And then the final book from the books that I'll be including from my book haul is Indigo Ridge. I feel like everybody's been talking about this series, and I don't know really anything about it other than I believe it's like a small town romance, and I just figured I would give it a try. This looks like as I look at it, I feel like the font is like a little bit bigger, and it's like not the longest. So I feel like I could get through this one like actually pretty quickly, which I'm all about. Like I'm all about getting through a book quickly. So I also have that on my TBR. Okay. Now let's go through everything that was on my October TBR and pick out like 3 to 4 books from here. So I'm thinking some of these more like October themed books are gonna have to get put on the back burner until next year. And I'm okay with it. I still want to read this book. I still want to read, obviously, Taylor Jenkins Reid, Maybe in Another Life. I'm trying to get through her backlog. I still want to read Kingdom of the Wicked. I don't feel like I don't feel like married to I have to read that in October, so that's still a maybe. Dark and Shallow Lies, we're gonna put this one away. I don't feel myself reading, like we're gonna put that away. I also feel like Cackle and Payback's a Witch. I'm okay with putting these 2 away for now. Maybe we'll revisit them next year, or maybe sooner, who knows. Okay, Velvet Was the Night. I started to read this. I've read like 11 pages, and first of all, the font's really small. Like it's a short book, but the font is super small. And then the names in here, it's like, just like, I was struggling. So I do want to revisit this and read this. And I was like, do I want to try and read this in November? Because I still feel like the atmosphere is right. But no. We're going to put this, no, not right now. The Lost Apothecary. I never know if I say that name correctly. I don't know why that word trips me up. I feel like this atmosphere could still work for November. But I don't know if I'm feeling this one right now. So I feel like I'm gonna put this one away. If you guys have feelings about some of the books that like I chose not to read, let me know in the comments. And like, I mean, I'm not opposed to reading a book that's not on my TBR. Like it doesn't have to be. Whew, I'm getting hot. Okay, The Mistake by Elle Kennedy. I definitely want to carry this over into my TBR. I'm like, do I only have romances? Shatter Me, romance subplot. Okay. Maybe we'll figure this out. I did read The Deal. in October, loved it so much. And I actually thought I was going to read The Mistake, like finish it in October, but I just, reading wasn't happening for me. I will say once I finished the Magnolia Park series too, I needed like a day to decompress because like I feel like I missed my friends. Like I wanted to keep reading books from the Magnolia Parks universe. But I am going to put The Mistake in here. I'm from Minnesota. If I haven't said that yet in this video, I feel like I say it in every video, but we are the hockey state, even though the Minnesota Wild have, you know, not been super impressive yet this year, but I'm all about reading hockey books in November, December, winter time. I do feel like I want to carry this one over. I'm actually disappointed in myself for not reading this in October because I was super excited about this book. This is Finlay Donovan is Killing It, and it is about a mom, like hit woman. Well, I think she's like works in Hollywood and she's on the phone with like her agent in a cafe. A woman overhears her and thinks she's a hit mom or like a hit woman and hires her to kill her husband, but like she wasn't a hit mom or hit woman. It just sounds fun. It like really just sounds fun. I love the cover. I believe there's 2 other books in this series too, which if I like this obviously would be interested in reading. So I'm gonna carry that one over as well. I kind of did want to carry The Bodyguard over. How many have I carried over? 2. But I also feel like I have a lot of romance, and I feel like there's still other romance that I want. I feel like I should wait. I'm gonna wait. And if I feel so inclined, like I can still read this book. So we're gonna wait on that, but I still wanna read this soon-ish. So I do wanna pick one more book. Do I go with Alice Feeney, Rock, Paper, Scissors? I feel like I should because I really have not read, like this isn't a romance. I do still want to read Taylor Jenkins Reid, Maybe in Another Life, but I keep putting this one off too. I think I'm gonna go with Alice Feeney, Rock, Paper, Scissors. Everybody raves about this book. Even like when I talked about this on my October TBR, y'all were telling me how great it is in the comments. So I'm gonna carry that one over, and then we're gonna put these 3, we're gonna put these down below on the shelf down below. Okay, I hope you guys can see this shelf kind of. Where are we at? So I'm thinking like anywhere between like 15 to 18 books. I don't think I'll read 15 to 18 books in November, but that gives me like a good variety to pick through. Don't worry, I'll reorganize this to be more aesthetically pleasing after finishing this. Okay. Oh yeah, I totally forgot we still have this. So, okay, from this stack, I was so excited. Like once I finished the Inheritance Games, the second book, I immediately went out and purchased this, and I like wanted to read it, and I keep putting it off. But I feel, is it because I'm like don't want the series to end because I've loved the series so much? I don't know. Okay, here's my stack of books from the haul of books outside my comfort zone. So I read a lot of romance, some literary fiction, but like aside from that, not well versed. Dark romance I hadn't really dabbled much in, so there's some dark romance, dark academia, a little bit of fantasy, I thought, a thriller, a couple thrillers. What are we feeling? I do want to read Brutal Prince because I want to, like, I feel like this would just be an easy read, and I want to like get started with this series by Sophie Lark, so I am going to choose that. It's a mafia romance. I also do want to read the next book from the Never After series. I read Hooked this month and really liked it. It's funny because the first half of the book I was like, I feel like I'm always thinking of like what I'm gonna rate the book. Even like 3 pages in, I'm like, oh, what star rating am I gonna give this? But halfway through the book I was like, okay, I'm feeling like this is gonna end as a solid 3-star read. And then like 75% through the book I was like, maybe 3.5. And then like the last 2 chapters of the book I'm like, higher. And I really enjoyed it. So I want to read the next book. I feel like I've heard even better things about Scarred as opposed to Hooked. I think this is a Lion King retelling, dark romance. So I'm gonna do that. Then I'm gonna do, I do really want to read, Ninth House looks so thick and I'm like scared of it. I think I'm gonna do If We Were Villains. Dark academia vibes. So many people rave about this book being a like I anticipate this will be a 5-star read. So I feel like this will be a good one. So I'm gonna, yeah, we'll do this. This is definitely outside my normal realm of reading. And it's not a romance. We have a lot of romance on the shelf. So I feel like this will be a good option. And then I feel like I should pick one more. I kind of want to pick The Starless Sea. This is by the same author as The Night Circus, which I loved. The Night Circus, but I read that like probably a decade ago. Like I wouldn't be surprised if it was a decade ago, which makes me feel so old. I believe this is like YA, but I'm not sure if this is gonna be too like deep for me right now. Like, am I gonna grasp everything, or do I need something like fluffier? I think I'm gonna add this one to my TBR. We're gonna do it. Because then we have a dark romance. We have 2 dark romances. We have, is this a thrill? Like, I don't even know what the mystery thriller, dark academia. And then we have just like a, I think this is just like a literary fiction. I don't know, I could have my genres wrong. Don't come for me. I haven't explained every book. I hope that's okay. I've already been filming for 18 minutes. I'm like, where is this video even going? A part of me is like, do I want to also grab a thriller? But I do have one thriller, and I don't know that I can do, like, if I'm really, like, if I finish a thriller, the Alice Feeney one, and then I'm like really feeling another thriller, there's nothing to stop me from like, okay, we're gonna move on. We have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. All right, I have 12, so I want to pick 3 to 4 books maybe off of this shelf. And I know for sure I want to grab Beartown. This is another hockey story, but there is like a tragedy that happens in this town, so I think this is like a deeper book. And in my head I'm like, am I going to be able to handle this like deeper topic right now with everything else going on in my life? Sorry, I'm hot and I'm like, oh, I feel like I need to show some shoulder. Anyway, I don't know if I'll pick this up or not. Like, I feel like I want to read it, but then I'm like, I don't know if my heart can handle this right now. We'll see. But I believe there are 3 books in this trilogy. I think it's a trilogy. Obviously, if it's a trilogy, there's 3 books in it. Hockey Town, again, like the atmosphere and the vibe is right for this time of year in Minnesota. But I could also carry this over into December. We'll see. We'll see. But I'm going to put that on there for sure. What else? There's other ones that, oh, I for sure want to grab Twisted Love. I want to start this series by Anna Huang. I recently picked up the first book, King of Wrath, in her 7 Deadly Sins, her new series, but I want to read Twisted Love, like the Twisted series first. Why I picked a book up when I'm like, oh, I want to read 4 other books before that, I don't know. But this is the shortest, I believe, of all of the Twisted books. Oh, and the font is like a decent size on this. I feel like I could get through this pretty quickly. Romance, lighthearted, maybe not lighthearted, but just like an easier read. I feel like that should be good. And then I was thinking I wanted to grab Be Still My Heart, which is by Emily McIntyre, as well as Sav R. Miller. This was giving me, when I read the description of this was giving me H.D. Carlton Does It Hurt vibes, which is, I think, one of my favorite books of all time right now. But I'm worried I'm not gonna like this one as much, but also, okay. So this takes place, it says, Skelm Island, Maine has always been known for 2 things, lobsters and its broken lighthouse. But when corpses start showing up in the water, the isolated town becomes the face of a cryptic investigation, at the heart of which stands Lincoln Porter, a grumpy ex-seal whose lobstering business seems to attract more dead bodies than fish. When homicide expert detective Sloan is called in to assist with the case, she begins digging up skeletons, ones that Lincoln would rather stay buried. Forced to work together, Sloan's suspicious attitude and optimistic demeanor grate on the lobsterman's nerve, resulting in a rivalry that's as addicting as it is volatile. But as everything unravels and they have no one else to trust, Lincoln and Sloan must depend on each other to figure out what secrets should be brought to light and which secrets should stay hidden. Okay, so this sounds like romance, but like, is it a dark romance? Could be. I feel like I'm gonna add that. Yeah, we're gonna add this. I feel like this also, like, clearly like this blue-green, it's like an aesthetic for this month. Okay, is there anything else I want to grab? I feel like I'm not seeing anything that's like jumping out to me. Is there something? Like, do I want to grab the Family Game? How many pages is it? Just over 300. Could be quick. Maybe I will. I'll grab another thriller because I really failed in the thriller category in October. We'll grab this. It's a book of the month. I did read Killers of a Certain Age in October, so I did read one of my book of the months that I've gotten, but then, okay, because then I'll get my November book of the months too. Yeah, we're gonna do it. We'll add this too. Plus, oh yeah, like the blue aesthetic, it just goes with everything. Yes, okay, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 books. That's already way too many. Like, this is perfect. This is going to be my November TBR. Would love your feedback down below. What books do you recommend? Were there books that I should have added to my TBR that didn't? I would love your feedback. What are your favorites right now? Were there any books that you thought were terrible? Let's chat about it in the comments. Other than that, thank you so much for shopping my bookshelf and helping me choose my November TBR. I love you guys so much, and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye.